Is Brandon Ingram and Zion Williamson a top 5 duo in the NBA today? We're going to talk about it. Lido and Chaz joining me today for about 15-20 minute session. We're going to talk on that topic. Once again, if you are watching this, like, subscribe, share. It helps out the channel. Presented to you by DraftKings and Company Burger. Company Burger located at 4600 Ferret Street. Let's get into the show.
First took away. That's the best. Get your money's worth out.
All right, Chaz. We got Lido. First off, thanks for y'all joining me on a Saturday night. Let's get right into it. We're going to go. I'm going to present you a team and a duo, and you're going to tell me if Brandon Ingram and Zion Williamson are better than that duo. And just so we get this in the clear, I do think that Brandon Ingram and Zion Williamson are a top 5 duo in this league, and we're going to explain why right now. So, Chaz, we're going to start off with you first. Brandon Ingram, Zion Williamson, is it a better duo than Joel Embiid and James Harden in Philadelphia?
Ooh, good question.
That's a tough one. Shit. I think it depends on which James Harden you get. If you get Houston's James Harden, then I'm gonna have to give the edge to Harden and Embiid just because of Embiid's defense.
Okay.
I have to give the edge to them. Harden's ability to score from virtually every spot on the floor and facilitating, plus Embiid's defense, I have to give the edge to Embiid. I have to.
Yeah, if you get James Harden of old, yeah, for sure. Lido next. So they're not better than Philadelphia. Lido next. We're gonna go Minnesota. We'll go Cat and Anthony Edwards.
Yeah, they're better than Cat and
I mean, who would you can do Cat and D'Angelo. You can do Cat, and I still think that Brandon.
To me, honestly, like this is not. I'm not sending shots at them, but it don't matter who you intertwine in the duo. Like I think Brandon and Zion are better than even if you go Cat and Gobert, or it don't really matter because for one of those guys is a liability on one end of the floor. Now I know we don't have the greatest defenders in Zion and BI, but I feel like coming forth into this year, the effort that they'll put into defense, is going to make up for that. And I just feel like I also feel like Minnesota has an identity problem, and Cat needs to realize that Ant is the best player on that team. So no,
I like that point you brought up too, and make it real quick because we've seen Zion play defense. I know it was a little bit different at Duke, and he wasn't playing at the talent level as he is right now, but I don't think he's that bad defensively. And to your point, Lido, I think he'll give more effort. So I completely agree with you. Chaz, moving on, I think this is going to be another tough one. We're going to go with Giannis and Chris Middleton of the Milwaukee Bucks.
Chaz, he giving you some shit.
Yeah, that's tough. I give it to the Bucks. I
disagree with you, but I'm gonna let you go first.
The reason why I give it to the Bucks is because again, Giannis is a guy both sides of the ball. We've seen him be durable. Chris Middleton, the knock on Chris Middleton is that he tends to choke in the playoffs. But the thing with Chris Middleton is he's choking in the playoffs. He ain't choking in game 45. So I just felt like Chris has proven more, and that duel he had with Kevin Durant, that was a major moment, man. I gotta give it to them off the strength of Giannis being so incredible on both sides of the ball, and Chris showing up big in the playoffs. Like I gotta give it to them.
That's fair. I think that Zion offensively is just as talented, or maybe even better than Giannis. I know it's kind of like a crazy, but Zion, I think people forget how good of a scorer he is. Defensively, Giannis not even close. So I agree there. With the Middleton BI thing, Brandon showed me something I've never seen before, and Lido and I have talked about this a lot. Like Brandon brought it on both ends of the floor. Was he incredible defensively? No, but he had a career year in rebounding, a career year in assist, and defensively he really wasn't that bad. And you saw what he did on the offensive side. I think Brandon's a way better offensive player than Middleton. And I think that not maybe way better, but he's better, especially if Brandon's hitting that 3-point that 3-point ball that he done so well since being here. But that's fine. The Bucks is tough. All right, Lido. So Chaz, you have Philly and Milwaukee in front of New Orleans. Let's go to the Western Conference. Golden State Warriors. We'll go Curry, and pick your choice of Thompson or Wiggins.
I thought about this actually before this happened, and the thing. See, this is a hard one. This is a hard one, strictly because it really don't matter who on the other side of Steph.
Steph's that good.
Because Steph is that good. Yeah. So it's kind of like, because I mean we saw it this year. You switch Thompson for Wiggins, or you switch Thompson for Jordan Poole, or hell, even if you switch Draymond for any of them, it's like it's Steph. And they're the defending champions. I gotta give it the Golden State, man.
Okay, no, that's fair. I agree. Chaz, you agree with that? Looks like you're laughing. Okay. That's a fair take. All right, Chaz.
Yeah, so I agree.
So we got Philly, Milwaukee, Golden State. Chaz, let's keep in the Western Conference. This is an interesting one, in my opinion. The LA Clippers with Kawhi and Paul George.
God damn. You know what?
Tell me. Oh, Chaz, I think I know what you're gonna say.
I give it to the Clippers again.
Okay.
The reason why I give it to the Clippers is because, man, it's always separated by defense, right? And I've already seen, as incredible as Zion is, and we know he hasn't reached like 40 points because sometimes people don't give him the ball, but you've seen those offensive scoring explosions from Kawhi. Kawhi did what he did in the playoffs. He didn't even know his ACL was torn. This is the skill and adrenaline. Look at PG. PG can give you 60 on a hot night. When I look at the number of 35-point games, I always go to that number that Brandon has. I just feel like Brandon's offensive ceiling is the kind of the weak link against that duo, and they both play defense at a high level when they do play. So Paul George at a lesser high level, but before he was, Paul George was really good. So I got to give it to the Clippers too. Damn, they might. I don't know. They might not be top five.
This is why we're talking about it. I'm gonna give you an interesting.
Good. I'm sorry.
Okay, I'm gonna give you an interesting one. I actually thought about this tandem today. Miami with Bam and Butler.
So this is an interesting one.
Because how good do you think Bam is?
Right. Bam and Butler have playoff experience, not just playoff experience, but finals experience.
But a top duo. I don't necessarily care about talent wise.
No, I'm gonna give it to you. I'm about to tell you. I'm about to tell you. They're better than Bam and Butler. They're better than Bam and Butler. I feel like Bam showed me in the playoffs his heart can be taken. He's tentative, looking for his points. He's much more of a rebound facilitator than looking for Bam's points. On the other side of that, you got Zion and BI. They both cold-blooded. They killers. Zion wants to body you and put you in the rim. BI go mid-range your ass to death. So I'm going Pels.
Completely agree. Chaz, I got another tough one for you. Because we didn't get to see. It's kind of like the Zion situation. Let's go to Denver with Jokic.
I was hoping you was gonna say this. I swear to God, before you said that, I said, please ask me about Jokic. Jokic is cool. Jokic is really good. Jokic is really, really good. I am not a Jokic believer. Y'all remember like Toy Story? And this is like a hot take. Y'all remember when Buzz Lightyear and Woody was like, that motherfucker's not flying. He's just falling in style. He's falling with style. I've seen Jokic dominate. There's no like big men who gonna really give Jokic the blues defensively. So it's easy for him to do some of this crybaby finesse shit that he does. Like it's just I just don't see it. I'm gonna say Zion and BI are better. Murray's really good. But I think we saw the best Murray like in the bubble. So I don't really know if that's going to continue or not. But Murray too small. He's too small. And he's never going to give you anything on defense. So that kind of balances things out. Jokic is not going to give you anything on defense, really. I'm going to go with Zion and BI. Even though they're unproven, I'm going to go with Zion and BI.
I agree with your take. I absolutely despise what you just said about Jokic. I don't know if I can
That
even
shit
look
hurt
He all right.
you in the face anymore.
Dude,
He's
so,
all right.
That's man. I'm a big Jokic guy. Let's go with you, Lito. An interesting one here. He's been talked about a lot. Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant in Brooklyn. I know they may or may not be traded, but if they're on the roster, who's the better duo?
man, from a talent perspective alone, like I gotta go with Kyrie and KD.
Mhm.
You cannot say that Kyrie and KD like that's fuck. We were just talking before this started about the top scoring duo, I think in 2020. Not
Yeah.
and it was them. Granted, like they didn't get a chance to play together this year alone, but I mean together, excuse me. But when they're on the floor together and they're playing, yeah, man,
Mhm. Yeah, that I agree with you there. I think that's a fair take. I will go last one, and I do want to talk about that duo, Leo.
yeah.
Interesting one here, Chaz, because they got three of them. We're gonna go to the Phoenix Suns with Ayton and Booker, or Ayton and Paul, or Paul and Booker, whoever you want to take.
Yeah, Zion would be out better than all of them. Yeah, I think Chris. Like I said, Chris Paul's Vegeta. You're never gonna win with Chris Paul being the best player on your team ever. And I think, like, just from a matchup standpoint, I don't really like against that pairing. I don't really know what they would do to stop Zion and Bi. I think. And Chris Paul's like, what's he going to be? 48 next year? It's just
38, but yeah.
Oh yeah, 30, 39. It just I'm going with Zion and Bi.
Yeah. So Chaz, did you kind of agree with everything Lito said with his wrongs and rights? Like he said Zion was not better than this team. Zion was better than this duo was better than this team. Do you agree with him?
Yeah, I agree with the Kyrie one. I agreed with Stephen Clay just because I think people envision this year's Clay. Like I'm thinking about the real Clay who took 6 dribbles and scored like 37 points. So
so you would then have the Pelicans at 6 most likely. So out of the top 5 because
there was a couple you didn't name.
Philly, Milwaukee, Clippers, Golden State, Brooklyn.
You didn't say Tatum. You didn't say Tatum and Brown.
Tatum and Brown, yeah,
that's a good one. Yeah, go Lito. Damn it, I had that in my notes. Go Lito.
I mean, we can't say that they're better than Tatum and Brown. I feel like they went to the finals, right? Yeah, and this the product we have, the product that we are waiting on, it's still on the stove. It's not cooked yet. You know what I'm saying? We gotta wait for the product to finish drying before we can say they're better than such and such. Because I mean, even if you look at that Celtics team, I mean, top to bottom, like they had solid role players, but JT took the mantle, and Jalen did a lot. I mean, Jalen didn't have a great finals, but overall, I feel like until we can prove them otherwise, until it can be proven otherwise, I think you got to say Boston is better as a duo.
Okay,
I got one for y'all. AD and LeBron.
Hey man, I thought about that too.
That's a tough one.
I don't think you can. If we bring unbiased, man, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think you can put us over AD and LeBron when healthy, just because of how great LeBron is. Yeah, it's not AD. Yeah,
it's LeBron. It's LeBron being a step above Brandon.
Right.
I mean, it is what it is.
And that's that's not Bi's fault, but he's just fucking LeBron.
So talking through it, and then we also forgot. I think that we both will have Zion and Brandon over these two teams, Luka and whoever, and then Ian and whoever.
And who was the last one?
Levine in Chicago.
Oh yeah. We can't seem to beat them for some. We just a terrible matchup for them. But
I feel like we didn't mention like John and Jared Jackson Jr., Triple J. I feel like
I'm never worried about Memphis.
All right,
yeah, I think we're better than them.
Yeah, we better.
I think Zion's better than John. Brandon's better than whoever the hell whoever. Jared Jackson, Dylan. Yeah. So okay. So it looks like Chaz, if you agree with everything Lito has, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You have the Pelicans, the duo at 8. Lito, you agree with everything Chaz said?
He said Philly, Boston.
He said Philly, Milwaukee, Clippers. Philly, Milwaukee, Clippers.
Yeah, man. Yeah. I mean, a healthy Chris Middleton, a healthy Kawhi and PG. Yeah, I agree.
So then you have the Pelicans in the 7 slot. With our best duo with Brandon Ingram and Zion Williamson. I mean, it's not terrible. It's impossible to put up Embiid and James Harden if Harden's 100%.
And take into account, we've seen probably out of all those teams, aside from the Celtics, we've seen the best versions of all those teams aside from us and the Celtics. So imagine us seeing the best version of Zion and a better 3-point shooting version of BI. Because BI adds that, the whole conversation is different. Like we jumped several duos immediately. And if James Harden still looks flabby and sick going into this year, I'm gonna say we jumped them.
Yeah, and people aren't talking about. I mean, who knows how long Brandon's had that injury for?
That finger injury. Yeah,
I mean, that obviously affects your shot. So,
yeah.
I mean,
I don't expect him to shoot that low this year. Go ahead, Lito.
No, I was just gonna say, but see, this is the Chaz was shitting on Jokic, but see, this is where like being a superstar, quote unquote, comes into play, right? If you're him, then you're him, because even without Michael Porter, even without Jamal Murray, I think they won 48 games.
Yeah, they were top 6 seed, Lito. I mean, like it's pretty.
Should have been 47 if Willie does the right thing. Should have been 47.
Fair enough. But I'm saying though, even to say even with how that went, right? Like they were still like,
yeah, he was still the man.
Yeah, they were still a great, a very good team. I mean, just in the playoffs.
Who did they lose to?
Huh?
Who did Denver lose to?
In the playoffs? Golden State.
Golden State, that's right.
Didn't they get a gentleman's sweep?
Yes.
Yeah, because they won game 4.
Yeah.
Okay, well, that's fair. I mean, last point I want to make, though, is last time Brandon Ingram and Zion Williamson played, they were 5th in the league, averaging 50.3 points per game, and this is sharing the floor with Eric Bledsoe and Steven Adams. So, I mean, let me ask this, Chaz, first, then we'll go to Lito. Do you think that Brandon and Zion can average more than 25 a game? Sorry, 50 a game combined.
I think they can, but I think there's more mouths to feed this year. So if they don't, it will be more of a byproduct of sharing the ball more with CJ and JV and, more so like that, or any other, hopefully, good acquisition we make. It'll be more of a byproduct of sharing the offensive load with other teams, with other guys,
Go ahead.
Yeah, so wait. What's the question one more time?
They averaged 50.3 points per game in 2020.
So
do you think that Zion and BI will average more than 50.3 points per game this year? Let me add, number 1 during this year was Brooklyn with KD and Kyrie at 53.8.
Yeah, and there was nobody else on that team. So it was so I'm gonna say no. If we will be a good team, I'm gonna say no.
Why? Explain why. Why?
Because you don't. Okay, in the case of Kyrie and KD, you have. I think Joe Harris was hurt. They had
Aldridge, but then Aldridge had the heart thing, and then they had.
You really don't. Corpse. Cam Thomas was the only other actual scorer.
I don't think Cam. This is from 2 years ago.
Oh, 2 years ago.
Oh shit!
Yeah. This is the last time Brandon and Zion played.
So all right, let me say this: the last time Brandon and Zion played together, Brandon was not the player that he is now. Brandon is much more of a 3-level scorer now than he was then. I believe that. I don't exactly know what Zion could get better at exactly in the time he was out, but as long as he's getting to the rim and he's still explosive, like that's all that really matters, right? As far as us being not needing that, I mean, you got guys like CJ, right, who can get his own shot when he wants to. You got Trey. You know what I'm saying? You got to spread the ball around. You got Jonas. You got Herb cutting and Larry setting picks and cutting and hitting mid-range jumpers. If Larry go shoot open threes and make them like he was in the playoffs, I mean, you know what I'm saying? You don't need Zion and B. See, the thing is the need for it. Yeah, they can, but do we need them to do it? That's the difference.
I think, the most successful teams are the ones that share the ball. I mean, that's what Golden State's so great at. I mean, obviously they get the ball in Curry's hands, but then you have Andrew Wiggins for 12 or 14, and you have Klay Thompson, and that just adds up. And that's where I think the Pelicans can be so good this year with Brandon and Zion, because it's incredible that you don't talk about CJ McCollum much anymore because everything's focused on Zion and BI. And I think CJ, man's going to have a great year this year because he's not going to have to do much, spot up. He's a great shooter. He's not going to have to create as much. So,
He'll get the most open shots he's ever had in his career.
Yeah, and listen, even if we keep,
Look at
I know we want to. I know he's defeated. I know we want to trade Devontae, but I'm interested to see if Devontae benefits from Zion. I know it's a crazy take, but I mean, maybe he does.
I don't think it's crazy, but I just feel like whether Zion there or not, if you could put the ball in the hole, like you putting the ball, you can shoot. If you can shoot, you can shoot with. You know what I'm saying?
I think if he get more open catch and shoot opportunities, I think he would look better if he's not putting the ball on the floor and doing anything else. Yeah, I think
catching too much. Chaz. Like we asked him to do too much.
I'm with y'all. I'm with y'all actually, man. I've come around to Devontae on that take because I do feel like maybe with another season under his belt, maybe he's comfortable. You know what I'm saying? He's in the environment. He's in an environment where it's he's retained. The other players around him are retained. I mean, he was in hell in Charlotte. Like it wasn't a well-run franchise, right? Mm-hmm. So I think, especially what he went through this offseason, I'm pretty sure he's just focused on basketball, like trying to get back to finding his rhythm.
Yeah. I mean, the alternative is Dyson Daniels giving you a whopping 4 points a game. 4 points.
Chaz, we're positive. We're positive on the podcast. Okay, that's why there's all takes with Chaz and there's Propels talk. But anyways, if you haven't checked Chaz out, please make sure you go check him out. Hot takes with Chaz, Lito the God. Love it. Love Saturday night. We're talking Pels, man. Season hopefully is coming soon because obviously we need more storylines to talk about. But anyways, if you're watching, thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, share, do all that stuff. You can follow all of us on Twitter. We're at Propels Talk. Leo the God, but you change it all the time, or you change your title name all the time, and Cheddar Chaz right there. So appreciate y'all. Y'all have a good weekend.